Hello, I'm Professor Rad, and today we're going to look at bar graphs that involve negative numbers. Ooh. So let's work through an example. This one says, the graph below illustrates the daily high and low temperatures for the week of February 16th, 2020 in Bismarck, North Dakota. Okay, so these are our temperatures, and temperatures could be either above zero, meaning it's, well, not necessarily warm, but above zero or below zero. Below zero is super cool. Not like cool as in awesome, but cool as in cold, right? So we have each day of that week, and then our temperatures written out. And before I go to answer any questions, I do like to, familiarize myself with the vertical axis. Because as we've seen in previous examples, the axis can be set up in different ways. And I can tell just by looking at these numbers, it's not counting by fives, right? So here's our 0. And then it looks like it's counting by sixes. So this first one is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my halfway points, if I want as reference, half of 6 is 3. So if I wanted to, I could kind of put these halfway marks. Oh, excuse me there. And think of these as like 3s. So I'm just going to put a note, halfway is 3. So this is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I can use that kind of as a reference point as I'm looking at the bars in the bar graph. Oh, the other thing I'm noticing about this bar graph is that each day of the week has 2 bars associated to it. One bar is a darker gray and the other bar is a lighter gray. So they gave us this key here that says the light gray bar is the low temperature of the day and the dark gray is the high temperature of the day. So we're going to need to keep that in mind too as we read this graph. Okay, so for part A, it says, which day had the coldest high temperature? So I'm looking at high temperatures. So that means I'm looking at the dark gray boxes. Coldest means I want the shortest bar. So let's see. That one is shorter than that one. Oh, that one's short. Okay, so it's looking like this is the shortest dark bar. It wants to know which day, so that day was Wednesday. Okay. For part B, it says which day had the warmest low temperature. So this time I'm looking at the low temperature bars. So the low temperatures are the light gray ones. So I'm only looking at the light gray. And warmest means the tallest. Okay, so it looks like it's either Sunday or Saturday because they both go up to that like second line above 0. But Sunday's looking like it goes a little bit higher up. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be Sunday. For part C, it says, what was the low temperature on Thursday that week? So again, I'm looking at the low temperatures. So I'm going to look at the light gray bar. And this is for Thursday. So here's Thursday. Oh, here's that light gray bar. Now, normally, we measure bars from the floor and look up. But these are all sort of starting in the middle of the graph. And that's because we have some negatives. So the floor 0 is not like directly on the ground. And when we look up, those are positive values. Down, we've got negative values. So when I look at this bar, it's kind of like I'm reading it down. Much like this bar, I read it up. Okay, so it's based off of where this floor is located, where the 0 is located. So this goes down to this line here, which is at -6. So the low temperature on Thursday was -6 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. Now let's take a look at part D. This says, on which day was the range of temperatures the smallest? In other words, on which day were the low and high temperatures the closest? So that means I want the light gray bar and the dark gray bar to be like the tops to be the closest. So for example, I know it's not Tuesday because Tuesday the low is pretty small and the high is pretty big. So that's like a pretty big distance. In fact, let's count about, we're going to do an estimate here, about how many bars. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that one's kind of like 4 apart. Let's look at Monday. 1, 2, 3. That one's kind of like 3. Sunday, it's like 1.5 maybe. Wednesday, this one is almost to -12, so it's like 1, 2, 3-ish. Oh gosh, Thursday's huge, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Friday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. And Saturday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. Okay. So we want the days where it's the smallest between them, where the two values are the closest. So that looks like this 1.5, right? That's the smallest distance we found. That's where the tops of the two bars were closest. Okay, so it looks like Sunday here. Okay, sweet, so that's it. That is our example about graphs with negative numbers. In our next video, we're going to talk about order relations. We're going to go back to horizontal number lines instead of vertical number lines like we have here. And we're going to use them to compare positive and negative numbers to see whether they're less than or greater than, that kind of thing. So looking forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, have a magnificent day. Bye.